Good afternoon and welcome to TCAM Thursdays, your midday cultural break. I'm Dr. Alana Reeves, and we are sitting down today with a very special guest here during Women's History Month. And when I met her, I was just blown away by all the things that she is involved in. And I was already blown away the first time I met her because I met her when she auditioned, and she'll tell you about that later. But to find out some of the other things that she's involved in, it just really blew me away. So I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about who she is. So please, Miss Sydney Reese, will you, or Captain Sydney Reese, will you tell us your story?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm really glad to have this opportunity to reach out to people, tell them a little bit more about aviation, and
Hmm.
just kind of the whole person that can be behind someone who's in aviation. Like she said, I am Sydney Reese. I am a captain in the United States Air Force. I am a pilot. I fly the KC 135 here at McConnell Air Force Base. And the question is, how did I get here? What started this journey? I graduated high school in 2013, and I had to decide where I wanted to go to school. I was very active in sports, so I was trying to decide what institution I wanted to attend. And long story short, I ended up attending the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. It's a difficult school to get into, but I'm very blessed and fortunate to be able to have gotten in and attended that school for 4 years. When you leave the Air Force Academy, you actually leave with a job. So you get to find out what your career field is going to be in your last year. So I'm a traditional pilot right now. I fly manned aircraft. But when I left the United States Air Force Academy, I was actually in training to do unmanned aircraft, so drones, basically. So I started attending training for that, and then I was blessed with another opportunity, and I was able to attend training for actual pilot training.
So now, does when you say that you fly drones, that means you're on the ground flying them in the air,
That's
controlling
correct,
them, and
right?
now you're up there with the bird, right?
Up there with the bird now.
All
Yes,
right.
yes, absolutely. So that's basically my journey to get to the opportunity to train to become a pilot.
Mhm.
So pilot training, it's a rigorous training program. It's difficult. Um, there are fun times, but it is a really difficult training program. So I went through pilot training and graduated pilot training, and that's when I found out you're going to be going to McConnell Air Force Base in Wichita, Kansas, and you're going to fly the KC-135. And here I am.
So now, did you grow up in Colorado as well?
I did not. I did not. I actually went to high school in Kansas City, Missouri.
All right, so
So
you're from close by.
I'm real close
She
by.
got a Kansas connection, right? Kansas City. All
Exactly.
righty. So what is
Exactly.
Missouri? But that's Kansas City, right on.
Exactly.
So now, how did you get from Kansas City to Colorado Springs?
As far as literally just
What
traveling,
made you decide I want to go to the Air Force Academy?
I'll be
People don't
honest.
wake up wanting to do
You
that all
don't.
the
You
time.
don't. You don't. And it's kind of funny actually. My mom, I'm not proud of this, but really to fill out my college application, she had to sit me down in the dining room and like sit with me. Fill this out. Let's go. Do this. You got to do that. And I knew I was going to go to college, but I wanted to do other things than fill out applications.
Hmm.
They're long and they're hard and there are a lot of things. But one day I was just sitting in my room. I think I was on the computer and I don't know what I was looking up, but I came across the Air Force Academy and I came across the Naval Academy, the Merchant Marine Academy, and I was like, "What are these places? What is this?" And I had received a letter
Hmm.
from the Air Force and Navy for track and field, and that's your sports letters that you get when they want to take you
All
on visits
right,
and
a
stuff like
track
that.
star too.
And
All
oh
right.
goodness, I did do track and field at the academy, so
Okay.
but yeah, I just came across it and that was the only application that I filled out by myself. I didn't even tell my mom about it. I was like, I'm just gonna see what this is about, which is not the standard way that people go about going to the Air Force Academy. I was a senior already when I was filling out my application, and most people start when they're juniors.
Right.
People dream about going to that school forever, and it is something that people really work towards. So it's not to minimize that. It is a
Hmm.
difficult place to get into, and it's an honor to be able to attend that institution. But I started filling out the application, and then one day I was like, "Hey mom, I gotta go get this physical at some doctor. Could you take me and pay for this thing?" And she's like, "What?" Like she had no idea what I was talking about. And I was like, "I filled out this application." It was just very interesting. But then it came down to when I was talking to these other schools, the Air Force Academy was the most consistent. Everyone who attends the Air Force Academy, or no one who attends the Air Force Academy, has to pay for their education. And I
Hmm.
knew that was my main criteria: is wherever I go, I don't want my mom to have to pay for me to go to school, and I didn't want to necessarily have to take out a lot of loans. And it was going to be possible at other schools, but as far as sports go, especially when track and field is your primary sport and you're a woman, money becomes kind of funny sometimes, and you're
Yeah, they only
debating
want
back
to
and
pay for
forth, and you're
one
getting this percentage,
semester.
and it's like, oh no, it's this percentage, and he's like, but you can use this percentage for academics. It was just too much, and
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person to like playing those kind of games. So I was like,
Mhm.
you know what? The Air Force Academy said I can go there for free and I get a job afterwards.
Mhm.
I think that's going to be the move for me, and that's kind of just how that
And a
decision was
pretty
made.
cool job at that.
Yeah, well, and I didn't even know that at the time. It wasn't,
Mhm.
to be honest, if you don't grow up in an environment where you know that certain things are opportunities, you don't even think about them.
Mhm.
I had never even thought about becoming a pilot until it was time for us to choose jobs. And I was like, so I get to just pick what I want to be? Like, you get to pick a list of things you want to be, and nobody's going to stop you from saying, hey, nope, I want to be a pilot. You might not get it the first try. I didn't, but you can work your way towards it. And it's amazing the opportunities that come available to you,
Yeah.
and that are available to you. You just don't know because you don't grow up being around people who fly. You know, I didn't grow up seeing people who look like me flying planes. I just
Right.
didn't. Right.
You were in Kansas City, Missouri.
I was. Yeah, exactly. And
Now, if you'd have been in Wichita, maybe,
right,
but
maybe,
probably
because
not.
there is a lot of aviation in
Mhm.
Wichita, but it just never was something that even crossed my mind. So
Mhm.
when I went to the Air Force Academy initially, I was thinking I was going to be OSI, which is, it's essentially like the FBI of the Air Force. It's
Mhm.
our,
Okay.
yeah, it's investigation and stuff like that. But and then I went to school there and I studied law, and I was like, okay, I'll just be a JAG. I'll be a lawyer. I've seen black lawyers and
Mhm.
female lawyers, and
Yeah,
I
that's
can
one
do
of
that.
our favorites
Look,
from
there we
Kansas,
go.
Ludi Lytle. Yes, you would have followed in some great footsteps there.
So, but yeah, it was just an interesting journey, and
Mhm.
that's it. That's what took me to Colorado, was strictly school. I just left
Yeah.
Kansas City
Well,
and
and
went to
the
school.
other thing is that, like you said, it wasn't something that you could do easily. One, you were very athletic. Two, you were obviously very intelligent because you had the brains and you had the ability to get into school. Okay. So, and then you just were able to pull that dream job. I mean, way to go.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's very important. English was more my route. You know, I really
Mhm.
like to write and I like to read and things of that nature. But STEM is so important,
Mhm.
and I am not the best mathematician. I'm not the best scientist, but working hard towards that definitely helped me in that goal. Being at the academy, it's a very stringent STEM school.
Mhm.
You get the opportunity to take English courses and things of that nature, but you take a lot of engineering courses, a lot of math courses, and those are the things that are important. And even just becoming a pilot, a lot of math is and science is applied to that. You
Right.
know, so
You're something of an engineer to be a
I
pilot, right?
well,
Wouldn't you say?
well, some engineers might be upset with you for thinking that, but no, it definitely, you definitely have to at least have some baseline
Mhm.
knowledge.
Right. So she's talking about science, technology, engineering, and math. And when actually she kind of goes for the big word, the STEAM, because she's also the artistic abilities as well. So that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. She's bad like that. You hear what I'm saying? She's bad like that. So those other interests. Tell us a little bit about your artistic
Oh
abilities.
man, I am an artist through and through. That is my heart. That's my passion. That's, even while I was attending the academy, I that was my outlet. That's where I really found myself as an artist, was at the academy,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I struggled with math and things of that nature, and so one night I was not doing my math homework like I should have, right? And I was got lost in this YouTube hole. You know how you just start looking up stuff on YouTube and you just
Mm-hmm.
find yourself. And I found performance poetry or spoken word poetry, and I was watching these people, and I was just like, I can do that. I could do that better than they can do that. No, but I was just watching it, and I can write a poem, and so I started writing. And I had been writing poetry, but I didn't know that spoken word was a thing. I just wasn't around it very much,
Mm-hmm.
and I fell in love with it. And maybe 2 weeks after I saw that first video, there was actually an opportunity to perform. They called it a slam. I now know it was not actually a slam, but people got to perform some poetry at the academy, and that's where I started. And then I got to do Women of the World Poetry Slam.
All
I
right.
got to do, I mean, I really had a great time running that slam circuit. I decided it wasn't really for me,
Mm-hmm.
slam itself, but I stayed in performance poetry and open for some speakers and things of that nature. And I really enjoy that, being in front of people, inspiring people, sharing messages. That's really, it's a fun thing to do, but it's really important as well. And beyond that, so poetry. I did some music. I still write music. I'm a singer songwriter. I
This woman is amazing.
Oh
Okay,
man,
we have to definitely put her in our speed Rolodex so we can call on her sometime
call
to
on
come in
me.
and maybe do us some performance poetry for
Absolutely.
Mother's Day,
Yes, let me know.
or
I'd
we
be
might
glad
even need her to
to.
have to come and do something for Black History Month, right?
I would be
Hey, you know
glad.
our Black History Year, all right? This
Hey,
is
I heard that. Yes,
2022. It's
absolutely.
all about African Americans. We're gonna make it work. Yes, it
Absolutely. I
is.
love it.
We right here. We are culture,
Amen.
and this woman is oozing it. Do you hear me?
Oh
Oozing it.
goodness.
But not only are you a writer and a performer, but you are going to be appearing in TCAM's inaugural play
I
this
am.
year.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
That is because that's where I met her. I met her when she came down and auditioned here for at TCAM in the play that we're presenting in at the first weekend of April, Canaan, and she is phenomenal. Okay, I mean, the director, Miss Sheila Kennard, she put it when she walked away. I'm just thinking about it. Got chills when this young lady performed. So don't miss it. Get your
Yeah, go
tickets.
get your tickets. Make
Get
sure
your
y'all come
tickets.
show
All
some
right,
support.
because it's likely to sell out. So get your tickets while you thinking about it. All right. Online, of course. It's from the Crown Uptown Theater, right? And you can get tickets at the Crown Uptown Theater. You can get them online, or you can go downtown to the theater and pick them up. But get your tickets, all right? Don't miss this performance.
No, absolutely. I think it's gonna be a great
She's
performance
in
with a
a
great cast.
cast of marvelous individuals. I
Absolutely.
can't wait to see it.
And the writing is
Yes.
you're in for a treat. That's all. That's
Yes,
all I'm gonna tell you.
another
You're in for a
Kansas
treat.
writer has
Yes.
written the play, and it is awesome. So don't be square, be there.
Absolutely.
But yes, there's still more.
But
Tell us
wait, there's
more.
more. I'm assuming you're referring to Arts Partners.
Mhm.
That's my thought. So Artists to Authors is doing a program where we're creating those books for kids. It's
Mhm.
gonna be in the Wichita Public Schools. I'm writing as a poet,
Mhm.
but there are people doing prose. There's illustrations going on, and
Mhm.
it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be great. The program has been great so far, and I'm
Yes.
excited to see the final product.
Yeah, and like I said, I got to meet her there because guess what? I get to participate in that program too.
How crazy was that? I was
That's
like,
amazing. You're
wait a
doing
minute.
poetry and I'm doing prose. And yeah, she looked at me and she's like, and I was looking at her, I'm like, I've seen her before somewhere. I know her. And then
And
there
that
it
was just in the
was.
span of a couple of weeks
Mhm.
overlapping between the two. So that
Yeah,
was awesome.
this year, 2022. It's all about you,
Well,
2022.
hey, I heard that. It's all about
Mhm.
us.
It's gonna happen. You wait and see. It's gonna happen. We are writing books for kindergartners through second grade. And as she said, she's writing a book of poetry for kindergartners to second grade, kindergartners, first graders, and second graders. And I'm writing with a team on a prose book that we will tell some stories. And I'm really seriously considering we're planning to tell some stories about African Americans. So
Good.
we can't wait. I'm assigned to this really awesome artist. I'm sure you are too.
Oh yes,
It's
I have
amazing
two
the
amazing
things that
artists on
they
my
can
team,
do.
so
But
it's
it's
gonna
like,
be great.
wow, we're in some good company. And we are in good company right now. Again, we're talking to Captain Sidney Reese of the United States Air Force, TCAM credentialed as an actor in the Canaan play coming up in the first weekend of April, and also a budding writer writing a book for preschoolers or kindergartners through second grade right here in Wichita, Kansas. Now, she was going to tell us a little bit too about aviation here in Kansas.
That is correct. And aviation is rampant here in Wichita. It's like the
Yeah, it's the air
aviation
capital
capital.
city.
There you go. Absolutely. But there are. I was kind of alluding to it before. Actually, I didn't allude to it. I said it. But you don't know what you don't know about things that you're not around. And there are a lot of opportunities for youth in aviation that you just don't know about until you do. So if you are interested in aviation, even if you don't know anything about aviation, I say give it a try. The worst thing that you get out of it is an awesome experience. If you decide you don't like to fly or you don't want to fly, that's okay, but give yourself the opportunity to have those experiences to draw from in life. I was a part of a program. It's called Legacy Flight Academy. I could be naming that wrong, but Legacy Flight Academy, and there are others. So I'm not trying to slight other programs, but they help youth get the opportunity to fly in aviation, and they help financially. And I know that that's one of the bigger burdens. Aviation is expensive. It is
Very.
expensive to fly. And that's one of the reasons that some communities and some cultures just don't have access to those opportunities. So if you get your opportunity to apply for those programs, just try. And there's a good chance that you'll get in. They want to help.
Yeah.
Here in Wichita specifically, McConnell Air Force Base, where I work, actually just recently became, it's called an AIM wing. The
Mhm.
Air Force is really trying to work on its diversity. It's trying to get better about having more people present and more people aware of the opportunities. And they're trying to reach out to schools that are local. And so if you want your school, reach out to me and I'll put you in touch if you want. You should be able to find something online. But we want to be out in the community. We want to share the opportunity. We want to share our knowledge and give you contact, because mentors are so important.
Yes.
It's so important to have those points of contact, and it's really nice to have people who look like you and are going to have a journey and experience similar to you. Even if you're in the same place as somebody else, you might not have the same experiences as them, but a lot of times it's the closer you get to a person that's like you, the better they'll be able to help you out. So just reach out and make sure that you know the opportunities are available to you, because I know that for me, people tried their best, to make sure that I became at least a good person and hardworking person and all of these things, but people are limited in what they know and what they do. So you have to be able to reach
Right.
outside of just your village. And yeah.
Well, you had it right there at home with your mom, you said,
Oh yeah.
that helped kind of pull
Oh,
you out and make you
absolutely.
do the things you needed to do to
And
get
that
where
was
you
my
needed
whole
to go.
life. Yes.
All right.
She's if anybody were to ask me, my hero or my mentor or anything like that, my mom is she's my light. I love her so much. She's literally my best friend. And my village is great. I have a very matriarchal family.
That
Just
works.
yeah, there we go. There are a lot of women in my family, and they're strong women,
Mhm.
independent women, and they are leaders in every way. And I'm so appreciative. But they really guided me. Even, I mean, my mom didn't know about aviation, right? But she knew about hard work, and she
Mhm.
knew about honesty. She knew about loyalty. These are the things that she kind of ingrained in me to get me to where I am. So that's
And
it goes
look
without.
at where she is. She's up among the clouds, literally and figuratively. Okay, I mean, far out. That is awesome.
There's a
So you think there's a possibility that someday you might be an astronaut?
oh well, we'll see. We'll see. I have a lot of dreams that I want to go after. And
Mhm.
I think I'm happy being in the clouds. We'll see. We don't know what's in store for me.
Sky's
But
no limit,
there
right?
you go. I was just about to, there's a quote, Legacy Flight Academy uses it, I think, and it's the sky's the limit until it's your point of view.
Mhm.
And it's like you can go so far beyond what you
And
think
see,
you
now
can.
I was like confused by why is the sky a limit? I always said the sky
Exactly.
is no limit, and we can keep
Yes.
going and keep going and keep
Absolutely.
going,
The
and you
expanses of
just need to
space.
do that. You keep going, all
I'm
right?
going to do what I can. I appreciate that.
So
Yes.
now tell us a little bit more about the people who help you to keep going, your mentors, your role models.
Daily, I mean, you come across so many different people that can help you in so many different ways.
Mhm.
I love peer-to-peer relationships and even peer-to-peer mentorship. They keep you in line. They give you perspective, and especially when you are a person who is different than a lot of people you're working around,
Mhm.
it's important to have yourself in check, but to also, remember who you are, work hard, these things, people to keep you in line in a way that you're like, no, you do know me better, this. So I have a lot of peers, just even here on base that I get to talk to and work with, who keep me in alignment. But leadership, when you find leaders that look like you, it's important. There's a
Mhm.
colonel that just came in, Colonel Harris. He's gonna be doing the reserves. He's the reserve commander. I'm active duty,
Uh-huh.
but when I tell you, he came on site and was immediately the mentor that all of us needed and all of us
Right.
wanted to kind of flock to. He's just a great man, and he's a good example and a good role model, and he is where all of us want to be. He is doing what we
Mhm.
all do and want to do. So he's one great example that
All right.
just came into my life recently, but has had a huge impact on me and a lot of other people who look like me who are in the service who are flyers.
Mhm.
Um, Outside of that, I mean, I have some spiritual guidance. My grandma is probably my spiritual lead. I'm calling her all. She probably gets tired of it,
Our
honestly.
grandmas are awesome like
They,
that. Yes,
when your
they
grandmas are
are.
praying for you.
Grandmas are like that. Yes.
Absolutely. And I feel like I'm gonna leave out people, but I just have, so I have a mentor I write plays and screenplays and things of that nature.
All right, so we might be producing one of her plays someday here at
I sure
TCAM.
hope so. We're gonna talk after this and get some, get
Denise, you
some
hear that? We got a writer on the block here.
no. No, I lost my train of thought. I got too
You
excited.
were talking about your mentors. Your grandmother
Professor
is
Charles
your
Smith.
spiritual. Yes.
Yes, he's a great playwright. Has many accolades. If you ever get a chance to check out some of his work, please do. But he's been just helping me along my journey, even as a new writer, and he's just challenging me constantly. And I appreciate that. And I think you need mentors in every aspect of your life. You need to be a whole person,
Mhm.
right? It's great to be an aviator, but I think sometimes people get lost in that. Oh, I fly. Okay, well, what else? What else are you beyond your career, your job?
Mhm.
And I feel like I am the sum of my dreams and my passions, and all of my passions lead to helping other people. I think that's truly my purpose and my calling. And so, yes, I'm in service and I help people in that manner, right? But I also have a nonprofit. So I'm an artist, and my nonprofit is all about the arts and helping artists, right?
Awesome.
And yeah, Wanderer Speaks United. If you're any artists out there who need any help on their artistic journey, please consider looking out for
Okay,
us.
now say that again one more time.
Wanderer Speaks United. You can check us out, www.wsunited.org. We're also on Instagram at Wanderer Speaks. You can find us on Facebook as well. But we help artists, and we also help the community at the same time. So we utilize art to help the community, and it's been a great experience. And
Right.
yeah, so but yeah, I have mentors there too. There's mentors everywhere. There's mentorship everywhere
Just
you look.
open
You
your
just
eyes
gotta
and
open
pay
your eyes
attention.
and be willing to accept some criticism,
Mhm.
and some tough love. You need it. You
Right.
do.
If you're gonna get better, you got to know where you need to improve.
I'm
don't you?
100%.
That's
Absolutely.
right. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are sitting with awesome people who have come before, talking with someone who's moving on. Captain Sydney Reese, you are just an amazing human being, and we are so glad to get the opportunity to sit down and talk with you today.
I'm so grateful to be here. I really am. I love having the opportunity to share with other people, but it does feel good, to be able to be recognized and things of that nature. It is really nice. So I do appreciate that.
Okay, so if there was one thing that you would like to share with us that I didn't ask you about today, what would that be?
About anything?
About anything.
I guess so. This is kind of just a message for everybody, and
Mhm.
it's kind of what I've found my whole life is kind of founded upon, and what my whole goal and dreams is. And I really want people to care about one another. I think that love is so important. I think understanding one another is going to help us love each other more. I think sometimes we fear what we don't know, and we kind of hate what we fear. So once we can care about one another, understand each other's stories, then we can start to love each other. And I think the world can be a better place when we truly value one another and each other's perspectives. So that's my little message. It's not completely related to aviation or the arts, but
it's related
it
to
is.
you, and that's what we're talking about today. So that is awesome. Like I told you, this young lady is not only, as she calls it, a whole person, but she's a full package. Brains, magical intelligence, and wisdom. It's one thing to have brains, but it's a whole other thing to have wisdom to go with it. And it's already obvious that you do indeed have that. And
Thank you.
see her, she's a beautiful young woman.
Oh, thank you.
And she told us that she was athletic. What did you do in track and field back in the day?
In college, I was a thrower. So discus was my primary event, and then I threw some hammer outdoor, and then I threw weight indoor. So
awesome, just awesome. We have been privileged to sit with you.
Oh, the privilege and pleasure is mine.
I'm telling you one more time, you will be privileged to see her perform in Canaan.
Go get your tickets.
First weekend in April. So thank you for sitting down with us today.
Absolutely, you're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
TCAM Thursdays, your midday cultural break.